So now you've done one discovery, two discovery, couple of days, and you all are involved in it as well. Now it's approved and you start delivery. Delivery is broken down into iteration 0, where you set it up, and then you do 1, 2, 3, 2 weeks. My advice is fix your iteration time to 2 weeks. Do not do 3 weeks. It's too long. Yeah? 1 week is too short when you're just starting Agile. Go with 2 weeks. Yeah? 2-week iterations. There's a rhythm. There's a practice. At the first day of the iteration, you do your iteration planning. And maybe the Monday or the Tuesday, whatever day you started. Then you do this. Stand up work, stand up work. You keep doing the work. At the end of the iteration, on the last day of 2 weeks, you do the showcase, another practice, where you show what you have achieved to the stakeholders. You actually physically show them. And then you do the retrospective. Now, the retrospective is not about the product. The retrospective is mainly about the process. How did you do it? Not what you did. Yes, it makes sense? Retrospective is different. All right. And this is the same as the Scrum sprint. So you see, Scrum, you did the backlog, sprint, 1 to 4 weeks, and then you finish it, and then you start again. So that piece, this piece is exactly the same as Scrum. Yeah, there's no need to call it Scrum because that's a branded term. You can just call it an iteration. It's important to understand the model. Yeah, and you can use whatever specific method you want. So Celia Lashley, this is very important. She did a lot of research in New Zealand, and she studied for almost 30 years with only one question: how do you make a good man? What a strange subject, isn't it? What a wonderful subject to study. So she studied kids from the age of 9 till the age of 19. And if you study boys, you have to study girls as well. So if you want to know how boys work. So she studied both for 30 years. And if you've got a son or a brother, you have to read this book. Yeah? So she gave them all an exercise. I give you an assignment on Monday morning. You have to deliver it on Friday. When do you start? Friday. Yeah? Well, no, not girls. When do you start? Oh. Even the Sunday before. So, no, the answer was that the boys were almost 80% said on Thursday night, and the girls, 70% said Wednesday. So they were slightly better than the boys. But just look at this. By nature, right from the time we are small, this is how we work. We just leave it, because we automatically know there are other more important things, like partying. Now I need to do my assignment. Yeah? And it doesn't take very long. She should not have given you 4 days. Yeah? So, because of that, and it's a law by Parkinson called Parkinson's law, that work will fill time. If you give something 3 months, guess how long it will take to do? 3 months, the same piece of work. Yeah? Yeah, and a little bit of extension as well. So that is why we use time boxes. These iterations are time boxes. We time box it because it helps us focus. If that teacher had given them an assignment in 1 day, just Monday they give it to you, Tuesday it's ready, they would have done it on Monday evening because you've prioritized it. And that is what Agile is all about. Yeah, it's about time boxing. Now, even operations, you need to time box. Oh, what is that? How do I time box operations? Because I just do my work. They're virtual time boxes. So what you do is you say, this is the work. It's going on every day. You come in and you do your work. Yeah? So you just say, Monday morning, 2 weeks later, we're just going to take a pause for 1 hour to do a retrospective on how it went. We're going to read the metrics. We're going to see the mood marbles. We're going to see what worked well. We're going to do a retrospective. We're going to do a showcase. It's just a virtual time box, and the work goes on. But you take time. You breathe. You take a pause. If you don't, you're just working mad, and you don't improve your process. Yeah? You have to transform yourself. It's not some other team that does transformation to you. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You have to own it, and you have to make the change. Yeah? So, very important. Now, another thing is we just break the elephant down. The best way to eat an elephant is piece by piece. Yeah, there's no other way. So the big projects, I've done Agile for projects in the region of $90 to $100 million. There are 300 people working for 9 months or more. Yeah, 12 months. Very large projects, 17 streams, all small teams. Loosely coupled, tightly aligned. We break them down into projects. The projects break themselves down into epics. The epics break down into features. The features break down into stories. This is what goes into your iteration. This stays in your release plan, and that's done. Yeah? So we break it down, and then you can see it on the wall. You can see this whole breakdown. And the beauty is, whatever you do at that level is exactly the same of what you do at that level. This is like the universe. Look at how the atoms work. Yeah, they revolve, It's exactly how the universe works. It's the same model. And there's a lot of space, and they interact with each other. And that's the Agile principles and values at this level are exactly the same values and principles that you use at the strategy level, at the program level, at the product level, at the project, etc. So there are many frameworks out there. So this is less from the Scrum brand. So Scrum is a brand of doing Agile, the actual project delivery. So they've got how do you scale it. Then there's Scaled Agile Framework called SAFe. All the same. They talk about taking big epics, breaking them down into features, taking the features, breaking them down into stories, and putting them into iterations. Yeah? So whether it's SAFe or less, it doesn't matter. What you all are learning is the techniques, understanding what all this is, and how it all fits in with this. If you forget the values and principles and just do the practices, oh, I'm Agile, I'm doing a stand-up. And you're not Agile, yeah? Because you don't live this. So, small teams, 7 to 12 people, somewhere there. Yeah, there could be an iteration manager here, or some call it the Scrum Master. Then there's an extended team. So this would be the stakeholders, the team leaders, the managers, external experts, enterprise architects. They come sometimes. They're not needed all the time. But this core team is dedicated. Now, there could be operations. This is just an example. There could be marketing people. There could be finance people. But it's the core team. This is the extended team, and that's the steering committee. So it's the same model for operations and the same model for projects. And then people ask me, yeah, but can you write down my responsibility? So what's your responsibility in the boat? Yeah, you cannot say my side of the boat doesn't have a hole. Yeah, that does not work. Yeah, if there is a hole, we're all going down. Yeah, so you have to work as a team. Yeah. Now, yes, you do have skills. You have special skills that are needed. That's why you're in the team. Yeah. But at the point something is happening, you have to roll up your sleeves. I worked with one team once. They had 7 developers, 1 tester, 4 BAs. Guess where the bottleneck was? Testing was the bottleneck. So what's the first thing they said to me and to the manager? Yeah, we need more testers. Yeah, sorry, there's no budget for more testers. So what do? So they keep on building stuff and letting it pile up there. Ah, we don't have a tester. So they're building. Now, what does the team do? The team looks at the flow and says, where's the bottleneck? Remember the bottleneck. Where's the bottleneck? Testing. So what can we do? Yeah? Automate. Very good. What else? Sorry? Thank you very much. You could do that. At the end of the day, what has to be done is testing. You don't need a tester. You need to do testing. Roll up your sleeves. 4 of the developers did some of the testing while the others were building, and suddenly the bottleneck was finished. And they were flowing again. So they divided the work. The team knows what best to do. Nobody else, no manager has to decide this. You don't have to go to your manager. You have to take ownership and find out where the bottleneck is and fix it. Yeah? So it's a combined role that everybody plays, including the customer. The customer is there as well in the boat. Because at the end, the customer, you are taking the customer from A to B. The customer's in your boat. If the boat goes down, the customer goes down. Yeah? In Agile teams, there's something that will happen that you'll know later on. As you get mature, it's very strange to watch. It's fantastic. It's called the Stockholm Syndrome. Has anybody heard of the Stockholm Syndrome? So this is in the 70s, there used to be a lot of hijacking. And they found that when the hijackers hijacked the plane, after 2 days, everyone that were hijacked were supporting the hijacker. Say, oh, he's a good man. I know he hijacked us, but he's a very good man. What is that? Yeah? So, and it's called the Stockholm Syndrome because very often customers, when they work very closely with Agile teams, after some time they become part of the team and they'll be telling others, oh, no, the team cannot do this. So actually you have to manage that because the pendulum can swing to the other side. So, that's projects. So now let's look at operations. How many of you here from operation background? Let's say you do operations. Okay. It's almost half the room. So we're going to talk about operations. I'm going to speed up a little bit. So very important. Look at the process. Mobilize, understand, explore, build, test. Exactly the same. But in the explore and understand stage, you are using a technique. You use the business canvas to find out what you do, so that'll be there, but then you do value stream mapping. And this is not the 12 weeks value stream mapping that Lean does. It's the same process, but it's an agilized, faster version. And within 3 or 4 hours, the team will get together and build this. So you will know exactly. Now, you have to be careful of some things. Because you work in silos, sometimes you can do a value stream map for your silo. And you change something there, but it's made it worse on this side of the silo. So you have to find your parent process. You have to find what is the process you're optimizing at the top. This is where the leaders come in. They work with the team. They say, okay, we're going to pick this process. All sit together, workshop, maybe 2 hours, maybe 4 hours, maybe 1 day. And you've got a picture on the wall of exactly your entire process with the cycle time and the throughput. 2 measures you must have, cycle time and throughput. Cycle time is how long does it take to go from here to here, and throughput is how many balls can you push through the pipe for 1 month. How many pieces of work can you do? Yeah. Now, once you do that, it's amazing, and you look at it on the wall, you will see the bottlenecks, and you will see the waste. It will shout at you. My God, why are we doing that? We're waiting there for 4 days for somebody to approve something. Can we not stop it? Yeah, we could. Let's have a conversation. Let's stop it. Empower yourselves. Discuss it with the leaders. Get rid of that process. So this is the 2B one. So what you do is you change the process, but you can't change it without testing it. Why do you think so? Sorry? Correct, because of the impact. The change may be not always improvement. Change could be a step backwards. Yeah. So you test it on a small area, say, okay, that works. Now you roll it out. And once that is done, you start all over again. That's it. And here, this is the beauty of it. The actual testing and the implementation, how do you do that? You do it like an agile project. You have a wall, you have stand-ups, you have story cards, and you execute it. So, same. Understand, explore, test, implement. And you do it for operations.